Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in the world you are joining us from. Welcome to Commerce Strategies for the Holiday Rush. I am Aaron Orndorff, your excited, exuberant host for today, and I mean that truly. The big show is almost upon us. 2017's e-commerce total in the US alone was $108.75 billion, and 2018 is set to shatter that record. Of course, that's the good news, as big numbers usually are. The bad news is that a rising e-commerce tide does not necessarily lift all boats. Competition is fiercer, as well as customer demands. That's why today we have assembled a crack team of experts to talk you through exactly how to get ready for the rush. And rush is a perfect word. We're going to be covering just about everything you can imagine today. Each one of the presenters, there's 3 of them in total as groups, is going to be giving you 3 tips, strategies, tactics. Now, I'm terrible at math, and I probably shouldn't do this live, but I'm pretty sure that adds up to 36, which means there's a lot coming at you. So 2 things to keep in mind before we get going. Number 1, presenters will be answering questions at the end of the webinar, so please do use the chat box inside for questions. And as you record them, some of our moderators will take a look, and I'll come back around and answer or ask those questions at the end. Number 2, a full recording will be delivered to your inbox shortly after the actual webinar is complete. Now, that's going to be incredibly important given those 36 tips. Now, enough about all of that. Up first on our roster, Alex O'Byrne, co-founder of We Make Websites, and Megan Lewis, the e-commerce manager at Skinny Dip, a standout brand on the Shopify Plus platform. Let's go ahead and cue up their presentation, if you don't mind. Now, We Make Websites is one of the go-to agencies for Shopify Plus. Design, development, optimization, all things e-commerce, working with, and I love this list, some of the fastest growing brands on the planet, just top notch. I love their phrase. We Make Websites does Shopify at scale. So this runs the gamut: design, development, strategy, replatforming, international e-commerce, and real-time integrations. One of the things I'm so excited about is that it's not just We Make Websites, but as I mentioned, Megan Lewis, the e-commerce manager at Skinny Dip. So this is sort of a practice what you preach. The doctor is going to bring a patient into the room as well, so you get to hear directly from them. Skinny Dip is a fashion, lifestyle, and accessory brand. We're known for the colorful designs, tongue-in-cheek collaborations, some of which are going to be mentioned soon. Sold in over 200 concession stores globally, as well as 15 of their own stores in the UK. Now, 12 points are going to be coming at you fast. So the last thing I want to say before I hand it off, 2 things to pay attention to. Number 1, there's going to be a theme all about simplicity and ease. And number 2, I love what they're about to say about having a hook. So, Alex and Megan, take it away.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. It's Alex. I'm a founder and director at We Make Websites, and I'm here with Megan.
Hi, everyone. I'm Megan, and I'm the e-com manager at Skinny Dip London.
So Megan and I have worked together over the years as Skinny Dip are a client of ours and have succeeded massively in their own right and on Shopify. And they've got plenty of Black Friday, Cyber Monday experience, which Megan will tell you about.
Yes, so we've had probably about 3 Black Fridays now, and I would say that they've all taken us by surprise. So here are some pictures from last year's Black Friday, which were quite entertaining. I think I'll go into a few stories a bit later down the line, but we had a lot of our office staff working because we weren't very prepared. So yeah, our first tip for Black Friday is, it sounds really obvious, but it's really easy to forget. And it is basically surrounding kind of planning. We always try and forecast what we're going to sell so that we can plan our resources. And that's mainly surrounding customer service and the warehouse. So for us, we look at sales, general growth, year on year, and then kind of comparing that to what we think we'll do this year, but then also looking at how many orders can your warehouse support, how quickly can they process for them, do you need to get in any temp staff for customer service, because if you're delayed in the warehouse, then you're going to have a knock-on effect with customer service. Our big thing for 2017 was that we forecast how many orders we were going to do, but we didn't really use that information in the best way. So we ended up having 30 of our office staff in our warehouse picking and packing for a few weeks. We were really late on getting all the orders out, and that had a massive knock-on for customer service. So this year in particular, we're trying really hard to plan all of our resources. We're working with a third-party warehouse now. And one thing that's really big to note for this year is that Black Friday is before pay weekend. So rather than last year where everyone had just been paid, for us this time round it's not so nice. So it's just one thing to note when you're planning your sales for this year.
Great stuff. Another thing that we agreed on is a good idea is to prospect for new customers early. So for example, if you're running Facebook campaigns and Instagram campaigns, then begin building lists of possible target customers, because then once you run your lookalike audiences, you're going to have an even bigger audience to target. So right early on, 2, 3, 4 months before the big day, make sure you're setting up those campaigns ready to target on Black Friday.
Our third suggestion is, again, something that I learned from last year. It was 48 hours before launch, and my directors then decided that they wanted to put in their suggestions for what we should do for the big day. And I had to make a panicked phone call to We Make Websites to get some more development time in a really tight window. So for me, it's best to get everyone involved as early as possible. And I think that goes from everything from the design team to marketing, even your actual customers. So something we've been doing recently has been getting our customers to do almost like mini videos of them on site. So they'll have a list of questions to go through and answer, and the information that we've been able to pull from that has been really impactful on the changes that we've made. So it will be silly things. So it's things that you don't even think of because you're on the site every single day. So I think for me, one of the big things is to get everyone involved as early as possible, so you're not leaving it to the last minute to make those changes, and it means you have time to act on those.
Cool. We also like to A/B test. Of course, that's best practice to increase conversion, but do it early and do it before the big weekend, because A/B tests can go wrong, they can fail, they can mess up the site, they can slow down the site, and you definitely do not want that on the biggest day of the year. So do A/B test, but do it well ahead of the big day itself. Some things to test are the types of imagery that you're using on the site. You might test the site itself, you might test your actual campaigns in AdWords, in Facebook, and your other channels. It might be your emails that you A/B test. And yeah, the common things that we test are the messaging, the types of image, so photography, illustration, and what sort of graphics are on that. Yeah. Next is, this is a site. So we haven't actually shown the site yet. So this is just an example of how it looks on a typical day. So like I just said, we'll experiment with doing things like different call to actions, different buttons, different layouts, including on PDP and PLP. And then Megan and her team will experiment with the actual propositions and sort of campaigns that they're running.
So number 5 is have a hook. So we have in the past tried and plan this as early as possible. So this is mainly surrounding something to make the customer want to shop with you. Every retailer is shouting about Black Friday on that same weekend. It's kind of what the customer is expecting. So I think there is an initial, particularly this year, a discussion with a lot of brands about whether it's right for the brand, whether they should even be getting involved with Black Friday. I think whilst everyone is talking about sale, it could be an angle that you talk about something completely different, because you might be the fresh air that someone is looking for, where they don't want to be having that sale messaging to them constantly. Admittedly, if I went to my directors and made that suggestion, it would go down like a lead balloon, because obviously for them it is a massive sales day, so that's kind of where we position ourselves. But alongside the discount, so we typically always offer up to 80%, and that will be anywhere, a product can be anywhere from sort of 20% all the way up to 80%. But alongside those discounts, we try and see what other things that we can offer to try and bring the customer into us. So last year we had limited stock of our sold out Simpsons collection, which came back for one day only. It was just for the Black Friday day, and that ended up bringing customers in who had shopped with us 2 days previously, but they wanted to just come back and buy the Simpsons range, which was really great, and it really drove up conversion on that day. Another thing that we've looked at doing is kind of offering free delivery options on one day. It's really just about trying to bring them to your site over than going to shop to others. So try and think of something that's a little bit different that not everyone else can offer.
Great. And also, with the kind of proposition that you're offering, it might be worth segmenting that. So segmenting is always a good practice when you're marketing. And one idea is to have a VIP strategy. So you might look at the customers that spend the most with you and offer them something a little different and give them access to something exclusive. That might be a certain range or early access to something. And yeah, it doesn't have to be VIP. The segments could be customers that have bought certain types of product before, could be customers from certain demographics. So have a think about that beforehand, and again, plan it and then execute on a strategy where you're not just sending the same message to everybody. You've got a sort of attuned message for each audience that you've got.
So number 7 is scarcity tactics. So this one's a little bit different. I think there's like two sides to it. So a lot of retailers in the lead up to Black Friday, everyone knows that it's coming. Everyone's expecting discounts, so there can always be a little bit of a lull in sales. So I know a lot of retailers who try kind of countdown clocks, let customers know that it's coming, really try and push it, drive customers to your site on that day. They're waiting for that launch. They know that you've got something exciting coming and the discounts are going to be there, or whatever your messaging is going to be. I think on the flip side, at the end, depending on when you're going to end, whether it's Cyber Monday, whether it's past that, whether it's even just actually you have a one-day window and you're only on promotion for Black Friday, I think countdown clocks, limited time only messaging, get it before it's gone, that's always really worked for us. We particularly like last few remaining. It's something that's really driven up our conversion rate. And it just means that the customers get that panicky feeling that they're going to miss out, or it's going to sell out before they get the chance to get there. So that's one thing that's really worked for us in the past, and something we'll be pushing this year.
Great. The next one is be mobile ready, be mobile first even, because most customers, well, our average customer will get about 70% of their traffic from mobile devices, and about 50% of transactions, so actual purchases, will be on phones, and that's actually even higher for Skinny Dip. So it's absolutely crucial that you do a mobile first design and ongoing optimization process, because that's where most people are accessing the site. So we always try and make sure that the mobile view is distraction free, that the text is easy to read at all sizes, that the images are clear and that they load quickly, and that it's consistent with your other channels. So make sure you design on mobile. And by mobile first, I mean that is, your designers should be giving you mobile mockups first. They should be not giving you the big glossy full screen version, because only 30% of people are seeing that. It's the mobile where people really spend their time. So make sure that you're totally optimized for that. Oh, one other thing is that will probably be even higher on Black Friday, because people will be trying to get your offers whilst they're out and about. So your mobile traffic's probably going to be even higher than usual. Okay, Megan.
Number 9 is merchandise based on what's selling. So obviously you'll be doing as much planning in advance as you can. Hopefully a full kind of marketing strategy, everything down to newsletters, adverts, all copy, everything, so that you're fully prepared for the day. But at the same time, don't just sit back once you've launched. There's so many things that you can be changing and adapting based on what people are doing on your site. Keep monitoring sales, keep moving products around based on what's selling, what's not selling. If you've got something with really high stock quantity, make sure that you're moving it up the page. You want people to find it. And then look to kind of leave gaps in the newsletters and the adverts to make sure that you can drop in products at last minute, so that you're really driving those conversions forward. And then depending on what your strategy is for Black Friday in general, you can then look to add in further reductions, depending on if it is a slower selling line. And we've done the opposite as well, where we've had something that's selling so quickly on Black Friday and we had planned it all the way to Christmas, and we don't want to miss out on those higher price sales in the kind of next few weeks. So we've pulled the product from site to ensure that we're going to have it running up till Christmas.
Sweet.
So yeah, just merchandise and really plan.
Cool. We also think that you should add shipping time to your estimates. So it's likely that you're going to be extremely busy, as we saw in the warehouse last time. That was Megan and the office staff actually joining in and packing the boxes and shipping them out. So it's going to be a totally hectic time. And also the delivery networks themselves, so the postal services and couriers, will also be, have backlog and be super busy. So you want to make sure you're not disappointing customers, especially customers where it's their first order with you. So give them a more liberal estimate as to when stuff's going to arrive. And you probably, or maybe, want to remove any next day shipping options or kind of premium shipping options like that, because it could be a hard time of year to actually be able to live up to those shipping options. So yeah, simplify your shipping and make sure there's a bit of a longer estimate. One other thing is to make sure it's clear when your cutoff is for Christmas. So that's also linked to this. So running up to Christmas, you want to make sure that people actually know when they can still order from you and actually receive the items in time.
And number 11 is reducing barriers. So a lot of retailers offer a discount code. So it will be a 20% off discount code, and it will be use the code Black Friday. For us, we've always found that rather than offering a discount code, we will make sure that the product is reduced. So it's almost like a sale product, so that when they're looking at it and it's on the product page, they'll see the price that they're going to be paying at the end. It's a more manual process for us, because obviously it means that we're reducing all the product prices rather than just creating one discount code. But it means that for the customer, it's making their journey as easy and friction-free as possible. So that you also are completely taking out the possibility of the code not working or there being any issues later down the line that will mean that they'll then not purchase with you at all. So yeah, try and reduce as many barriers in that customer journey as possible, make it as seamless as it can be.
Great. And finally, our last point is to keep a record of what you did on the day. So screenshots of the website. Hopefully you're tracking your analytics. I mean, you could compare later on and see what worked, what times of day worked, what content worked, and also keep an eye on the competition. So make sure you're taking screenshots of what they're up to as well, because when all this rolls around next year, you're going to want to have a fresh set of ideas that you can work with so that you're totally prepared for 2019. That's it from us. So you can check out Skinny Dip's website, skinnydipLondon.com, and we're over at wemakewebsites.com. So thank you from Megan and I.
Collaboration is a beautiful thing. I love that 1-2 back and forth. And again, so much coming through there. We're going to circle back with Alex and Megan towards the end for some Q&A. I'm chomping at the bit already. But now we're going to hand it off to our next presenter, Miles Tinsley. Now, Miles is the head of US at Klevu. He's going to be walking through tips to optimize your on-site search and navigation. They've got 5 years of experience, 3,000 plus stores in 40 countries, 25 languages, all of the must follow terms like natural language processing, machine learning, advanced merchandising, plug and play integration with Shopify Plus itself. And I gotta say, Bulletproof and Leadberry are two of my favorite brands to do exactly what Alex mentioned at the end, which is stock, take screenshots. I sign up for their email just so I can stay on top of what they're doing. And I didn't know that you were running their site search for them. Now, similar to Alex and Megan's relentless focus on simplicity, I'm going to give you a spoiler. Guess what on-site search is all about, especially over the holidays? Simplicity. Search should be a tool to aid customers into finding what they need, as well as a promotion tool to nudge and guide them along. And those are the ideas I want you to try and keep in mind as Miles takes it away. Sir?
Yeah, hey guys, hey everyone. Thanks for joining today's webinar on commerce strategies for the holiday rush, and thanks to Shopify Plus and the other participants for setting this up. As Aaron said, my name is Miles. I am the head of sales and partnerships here in the U.S. at Klevu. I'm actually based out of Atlanta, Georgia, if you have not noticed my accent just yet. But I'm excited to be here. We have a ton of fun with our customers, making sure they see success every single day. I want to keep this with these different tips. I want to keep them simple. I want to keep them fun, so that we know how busy everyone is. We know how busy the day can get. So we want to make sure that you can spend a little bit of time to enhance your search, enhance your navigation, so that you're seeing success for the holiday season. So let's just jump right into it. Search bar visibility. Where is your search bar located? Is it hidden behind a tiny magnifying glass, or is it hidden behind the dreaded hamburger navigation? 46% of mobile shoppers prefer search as the primary form of navigation. This only increases during the holidays. If you think about it, you're either shopping around for what you might want to get, or you know exactly what you were looking for during your holiday shopping. Make your search bar visibility very prominent on your site. Your shoppers want to engage in search. In fact, shoppers who use search are 3 to 5 times more likely to convert than standard navigation. They actually can attribute up to 40% of your overall revenue. Second tip, enhance your placeholder text. 90 to 95% of sites that I typically see either do not have a placeholder text, or they just have the simple keyword search or quote unquote search here. Enhancing your placeholder text is a great way to spark ideas and to train your shoppers what to type in, and to give them the confidence to type in very detailed search queries with what they are searching for. Here are some really great examples of sites using more detailed placeholder text. As you can see here, one of these is giving you an idea of what to search for. You can search off a brand, you can search off of even CMS content. So very great examples there, and very great ideas to enhance your placeholder text for your site. Tip number 3, recommendations via search. We all know the importance of personalization and recommendations. Displaying pre-search recommendations or during search suggestions helps your shoppers down the search to sell journey. Most enterprise level retailers have already adopted some form of this machine learning based solutions, either on-site recommendations, category level recommendations. However, with shoppers who engage through search being your highest intent buyers, giving them recommendations of higher margin products or higher price products increases the average order value for that particular customer. Secondly, personalization in search is a new area that's been introduced by a couple of solutions, which essentially promotes products based on one-to-one user behavior. So past purchase history, for an example. So for this example, Bulletproof prompts consumers with words with popular searches and top products, creating interaction with the shoppers and accelerating the buying process without entering a single character in the search bar. This is extremely powerful pre-search recommendations that we're able to showcase. Tip number 4, have an autocomplete overlay on your site. Set up your search for a quick, rich, autocomplete layout for very fast results. A search overlay can help speed up the process and the search process very considerably. This example shows a rich, quick search interface which showcases for category results, query suggestions, product results, and even CMS content. These suggestions can kick in after just one character has been entered, bringing the most likely results right to the customer's immediate attention, with even product variants and those variant images showing within the search and search results pages. Also, wanted to highlight Tease Me. This is another incredible example of a quick search layout that actually provides a dynamic filtering with an add to cart option under the product IDs for quick action and conversions. So again, speed to checkout, right? We know how busy you are during the holidays. So this really shows the ability to filter all the way down to checkout right from the quick search section. Okay, tip number 5. Search and collection page optimization. A little bit about what We Make Websites was talking about. It is incredibly crucial that you have the best experience for your shoppers on search results pages and collection pages for mobile and desktop. For both, we highly recommend testing your current filtering mechanism for accurate results in the single select or the multi-select format. Large catalogs that can narrow down with multiple filters, we highly recommend you want to make sure you have a multi-select with no page reload, as this slows down the user experience. Secondly, it's a good idea to add any additional meta fields that you would want to make searchable, and including these as an extra filtering option. Ideas such as special part numbers or country of origin or even special product conditions is a great idea to make searchable for your search results pages and even category and collection pages. Finally, for products that have variants, such as colors or different images, it's great to showcase these as swatches to give your shoppers more than the main option shown. Tip number 6, merchandising through search and navigation. With the importance of merchandising your store for the holidays, do not forget to add search to this strategy. With 80% of the shoppers that know what they want to buy, either for themselves or friends or loved ones, they will be utilizing search in some format. If they see an email campaign or an Instagram post, a Facebook post, and they come straight to the homepage, they consciously are going to remember about those deals and are wanting to find those deals or products. So with that being said, make sure you are setting up boosting rules through search based on all of these campaigns that you're running. Fall Raven does an incredible job of promoting their products based on the marketing calendar that they have in place, either for discounts or sales or new release products like their new fall bag line. So tip number 7, this kind of piggybacks off of tip number 6, promotional banners through search and navigation. What's one way to catch someone's attention during the holidays? Banners. Again, through search, banner ads are a great way to showcase promotions, either site-wide deals or specific hidden deals based on specific search queries. DailySteals.com displays a banner ad on the quick search and search results pages for Apple products when you type in Apple as a search query. Here's another great example of a merchant showcasing a hidden coupon in a banner ad off of a specific search query and a specific collection page. So tip number 8, plan for shopper mistakes. Everyone during the holidays is in full throttle mode and on the run. They're working late, they're running errands, they're multitasking. You will start to see a lot of no results found through your search queries, right? So make sure you have a technology in place that is error tolerant and can pick up on simple misspellings for an uninterrupted user journey. So moving on, tip number 9, slang terms. This is a really nice one. So number 1, just because you might have quality data in your catalog does not mean they will find relevant results based on their own search queries. Most standard out-of-the-box search solutions are keyword-based matching, meaning that you and I have to type in the exact match to find that product. I recommend you to identify what queries people are entering, what they were clicking on, what they were buying, and always continue to add inflections to enhance or beef up your product catalog, even CMS catalog, right? Oko, great example here, did a great job with shades versus sunglasses. Other examples we have seen, tee versus t-shirt, color inflections such as blue, navy, drapes versus curtain. These are just simple slang terms, industry-specific slang terms that you want to keep account of, making sure that they're able to see that within search. Moving on, tip number 10, URL redirects. Very simple, yet very effective, right? Creating URL redirects for certain search queries is a fast way to navigate them to landing pages that are already built out. For the holidays, not just discounted or promotional pages, but having CMS content easy to find, returns, contact us, exchanges, delivery information, super important and helps with the user experience for your customers. Right, so moving on, number 12, tip number 11, no results found optimization, right? So if you have typed in a bad query or even looked for a product that they do not carry anymore, most likely you have come across a no results found message or a very generic landing page that is not helpful, right? It's important that you have recommendations or suggestions in place when this happens. This keeps your shoppers that are engaging in search from leaving the site of unhappy experience. Identify those close in proximity products, recommend new products, or even suggested popular searches to help get your shoppers back on track. And lastly, the last tip, and very most importantly, just like we make websites, review your data, review your site search data weekly. You would be surprised how many times some merchants are unaware of how to properly track search analytics data in Google Analytics. This is a great resource to understand what people are most interested in looking for on your site. It helps plan out search, it helps plan out your merchandising strategies on a week-to-week and a month-to-month basis. Also, this is a great view to see your visits with site search in more detail and the conversion rates that follows. And guys, that's it. Thank you again, everyone. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions. I would love to help. Happy holidays and good luck this season.
Golly, practical, just slamming it with every single one of those. I personally cannot echo strongly enough that 12th point about digging into what people are actually looking for. And in fact, I'm tempted to come at Miles with a question right now, but I will resist the temptation and instead, I'll save it. I'll resist the temptation and instead introduce our third presenter. Nicole Intro is a customer success manager at Nosto. Now, this means she works directly with a number of the large online brands that Nosto helps power. She's going to be working us through personalization in the e-commerce shopping journey, especially during the holidays, because Nosto is a personalization platform. They've got an e-commerce intelligence engine and a ton of really slick, high complexity sounding tactics that they make incredibly simple for the person both behind the scenes on the dashboard and in front of the screen as a customer. One of the things that struck me as we worked through this dry run earlier in the week is the breakdown between transactional data, data on orders and things like that, everything official that gets cataloged, the breakdown between how much transactional data most online businesses get versus behavioral data and the secrets that lie therein. So, Nicole, have at it.
Thank you so much for the intro, Aaron. Hi, everyone. As you said, I'm Nicole, a customer success manager for the North American market at Nosto. I focus on working with customers to optimize their on-site and marketing strategy. So I'm really excited to share some tips with you all today. Ahead of the holidays, it's essential to be organized and prepared. So good job to everyone who is tuning in. You're already ahead of the curve. So today I'll be talking about the importance of leveraging consumer behavioral data to personalize the shopping experience for various parts of the funnel, as you can see. We'll be focusing on how to increase conversion rates, average order values, and click-through rates through on-site, email, and paid social strategy. So before we dive in, I want to take a look at some of Nosto's data on our customers from Black Friday last year. So we saw an overall 244% increase in traffic. The busiest shopping hours were between 8 to 9 p.m. or 9 to 10 p.m. globally. And during peak traffic hours, we tracked 550% more orders than on an average Friday evening. And during those busy hours, both traffic and orders were likely to increase by 5 to 6x on average, and some stores even saw 10 to 20x. So these stats show that there are a lot of opportunities you can potentially capitalize on. So let's get started on how to do this. So tip number one is to leverage existing data on your customers. I want to talk a little bit about behavioral intelligence and the importance of uncovering hidden signals. So our research has shown that transactional data is only accounting for 1.6% of the data captured in an online store. By ignoring the other 98%, you're missing out on valuable signals on your visitors. So Nosto gathers data on every visitor, which we then use to update dynamic segments that automatically adjust to user behavior in real time. This is important because we've seen that it takes an average of 4 visits between purchases. So those buying preferences and intent can change massively between sessions, and you risk delivering outdated experiences and missing out on conversion opportunities if you're not paying attention. So how do we take action on this data? Let's start with new visitors who might not know where to go or what they're looking for, and who might be browsing but not converting. So tip number one is to guide visitors on where to start. So sometimes a new visitor will need a push in the right direction. Allowing them to choose their own journey can help them find what they're looking for, especially if you're in a niche market. So let's say I'm a casual fitness enthusiast who is not a professional boxer. If I go to the site for the first time and see punching bags, catching mitts, and training shoes, it might be overwhelming for someone who is just starting to get into boxing, since I'm not Manny Pacquiao. So guiding someone to where they want to be can make for a more relevant experience. And this can also even be applicable for the holidays. So like with gift shopping, you could personalize content to let customers choose to shop for themselves or lead them to a gifts for her or gifts for him page. All right, so tip number two is to personalize from a cold start. So as these are brand new visitors, we don't have that much data on them to fully personalize the store. However, there are ways to personalize using the limited data you have on them off the bat. And by doing so, you can start off a positive experience and first impression. So even when you don't have a lot of data on a visitor, you can personalize content by highlighting relevant promotions for a first-time shopper. This customer, for example, is highlighting different shipping promotions for different regions. So personalizing the experience for a first-time customer can make them feel more comfortable as they're discovering your brand. Tip number three is to suggest bestseller recommendations. So we typically suggest utilizing a bestseller recommendation for a new visitor, but you can personalize that bestseller rec by showing bestsellers based on someone's geolocation. So this is especially a good idea if you have audiences with lots of different tastes in lots of different areas and a wide variety of product types. And to Alex's point earlier, you should definitely A/B test ahead of the holidays to ensure that you're showing the right recommendations and content for peak shopping season. So tip number four, adopt the use of pop-ups. So in our experience, pop-ups really do work. Larger pop-ups tend to see higher engagement. And on average, our customers see a 40% increase in conversions when they add those pop-ups. So showing coupons in those pop-ups can be a good way to increase conversions. But I also want to highlight the fact that the holidays are a crucial time to capture info on those new visitors or customers who might not be that loyal yet. So you can utilize a new subscriber pop-up with email collection and continue to retarget those customers through email marketing. All right, so next up, I want to talk about past visitors that haven't converted yet. Obviously, we want to convince those customers to come back to the site and convert. And I also want to talk a little bit about battling cart abandonment. So tip number 5 is to customize those product recommendations. So I suggest having a personalized recommendation or a browsing history recommendation. Our personalized recommendation is actually a bit smarter, as it will display items in a weighted fashion. So items you've actually browsed, but in a weighted fashion. So let's say, for instance, I looked at this product 10 times and added it to my cart, and then I looked at this product once, and then this product once, and then this product once, and then this product once. When I come back to the site, it's not going to show me this product first, but actually will show me this one, since I've shown the most interest in it. This is especially applicable for higher priced items too. So it will probably take several sessions for someone to purchase an expensive item. So why not remind them of that item they've been oh so interested in when they return to the site? Tip number 6 is to go beyond product recommendations. So you can use on-site content personalization based on factors like category, brand affinity, or customer lifecycle to show relevant content to those audiences. Here's an example of how a customer has personalized content throughout their homepage. As you can see, they've personalized it based on a brand affinity, and it's all over the homepage. Now here's an example of 2 experiences served to returning visitors who are interested in different brands on the same site. This is a good way to remind customers of the brands or the categories that they really like once they come back to the site. So tip number 7 is to upsell and cross-sell at checkout. So something that we tend to suggest is to cross-sell similar items using our similar to carted items recommendation. We generally see some really nice results from this recommendation, but you can also use filters to show complementary or low price items that can be easily added to the cart without much thought. So in this example, this customer already has added something that's $35, and down below you have complementary items to what's been added that are all less than $10. So adding that $3 pair of tights, not going to be a problem. So tip number 8 is to retarget on Facebook and Instagram. So even after customers leave your site, I suggest reminding them of your brand and the items they've browsed through other channels. So around major sales or big holidays, we'll see some customers update copy to reflect promos that are happening on the site. Some customers have seen really great success when they've added the actual coupon code into the Facebook ad. And you can also include a promo like free shipping and returns, or mention a call to action that they can take later on, like so. All right, so tip number 9 is to send personalized emails. Very similar to our last point, it's just nudging that visitor after they have left your site. So you can use email widgets like our personalized recommendation or a browsing history recommendation to re-engage visitors who haven't converted yet. And on average, our emails with widgets have a 10% higher click-through rate. Last but not least, I want to talk about those existing and loyal customers. You definitely want to make sure not to neglect these folks. So you're going to want to inspire those customers to return and convert again, and this time to purchase more. So tip number 10 is to utilize order and browsing related recommendations. So order-related recs are a nice option for verticals where repeat purchases happen more frequently, like beauty, supplements, food. It can also be good for brands that sell products in sets, like bedding or furniture. But you really have to think about if this makes sense for your brand. So I probably wouldn't suggest this for a luxury watch site, as it's unlikely that you'll order another Rolex similar to the one that you last purchased, but who knows, maybe there's people out there who are doing that. So tip number 11 is to target customers using custom audiences. So you can inspire those existing customers by showing them exciting collections. Use filters to promote new products or special collections to custom audience lists of existing customers. So instead of doing a retargeting ad to someone who visited like 8 months ago, it's probably going to be better to show them fresh products from the site. Tip number 12 is to offer VIP promotions for loyal customers. So if you're able to segment those loyal customers, you can tailor content exclusively to that audience. In this example, this retailer displayed a banner to let VIP customers know that they could enjoy a complimentary embroidery service. This is a great way to thank some of your biggest spenders and to potentially inspire them to purchase again. So our last general tip is to analyze your customers' behavior. So similar to what the other presenters mentioned, you definitely want to pay attention to your stats after Black Friday. So look at stats like top visited and sold products, top categories, collections, brands, regions, search terms, referral traffic. All of this data can be found in Nosto's segmentation dashboard. And also look at times and days when most conversions occurred during Cyber Week. And also a good idea to note how many visitors are new versus returning and how many are repeat customers. I suggest digging into your data in Shopify, Google Analytics, Nosto, and dashboards from other tech providers that you're using to learn as much as you can about your visitors. So this data can help you make decisions around the next sale, or you might even find trends to influence your long-term strategy. All right, so good luck to everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in. I just want to say happy holidays from the Nosto team.
Oh, just like Miles, ending with the data, what your customers, what your visitors are actually doing. Fantastic point to cap it off with. And I know this because I'm constantly bumping up against how not smart I am and not creative I am when it comes to just simply going after what people actually want and show with their behavior. And the data is where that comes from. Great ending. And speaking of being shown up and being exposed to how not smart I am, next up, our fourth and final presenter, direct from Shopify Plus, is Alan Kalbflesh. He is a solution engineer here at Shopify Plus, which means unlike me, whose only responsibility is to make words pretty, this gentleman is the real deal. I guarantee you he is smarter than me, which is why I'm so excited to hand it off to him to focus on 3 of the proprietary automation tools that we've been presenting over the last few months as a way to put sales and revenue and Black Friday and Cyber Monday on autopilot so that you're able to not just sell more, but really focus on and make time for what matters. So, Alan, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Aaron, for that great introduction, and thank you to the partners for all those great tips. I'm definitely going to be sharing some of those with the merchants that I work with. But as Aaron mentioned, I'm going to be going right into Shopify. I've got a live demo here where I can actually show you some of the tools that come with Shopify Plus to help you increase your efficiency, really focus on the sales so you're not getting bogged down during Black Friday, just trying to maintain your website. So with Shopify Plus, our merchants get these 3 great tools, Launchpad, Scripts, and Flow, that are all really built around automation, some personalization, and just helping you increase your efficiency while running sales like a Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. I'm going to be going through all of these and even highlighting how some of these tools can be used to achieve or even work with some of the tips that our partners just showed. The first one that I'm going to be going into is Launchpad. So Launchpad is a tool that allows you to actually create events ahead of time. So we've heard this a lot from our partners already that planning is key. And with Launchpad, we can actually plan ahead of time and actually schedule out those changes. So whether you're adding in different filters or more personalization, or you've run through some A/B testing and you have your new design, With Launchpad, you can actually schedule out exactly when that new website is going to be live. So you're not going to have to stay up till midnight on Thursday to actually switch everything over. You can actually plan it out ahead of time. And we can do some other things with Launchpad as well. So if I just go into my Black Friday, Cyber Monday event, I've already got it started. But right now I have it set, so this is going to launch right at that Black Friday or Black Friday at midnight. One big thing we can do with Launchpad is actually enable theme switching. So we can have our main theme, our main homepage and collections running right up to the event. And then with just a click of a button here, now my Black Friday theme is going to be launched and ready to go right at that time. So we don't have to do that switching right before, right at midnight. We can do some other things as well within Launchpad, doing product releases. So if we did want to limit or release a limited edition product, we can do that and actually set how much inventory will be available during our Black Friday event. And we can do some other things as well, like doing discounts. So discounts that won't require any discount codes, automatically applied discounts on individual products or entire collections. So now I can say that all my products in this collection during this event are going to be 20% off. And I don't have to worry about changing those prices during the event. Some other things we can do with Launchpad, and I'll go into this one quite quickly, is scripts. So if we do want to do more complicated discounting, this is how we're going to enable those. Before just diving into scripts, some other things that we can see with Launchpad that's been highlighted in some of our great blogs with Shopify is the fact that it also gives you real-time reports as well as reports after the event. So not only is this a great planning tool, it's a great tool for executing, so you can actually see what your best-selling products are and just generally how your sales are going. And then after the event, we can go back and review all of those analytics. I'll go into scripts next, something that I mentioned that you can schedule out with Launchpad. So with Launchpad, we can show, or we've seen that we can do some fairly simple sales. We can do 20% off or any percentage off for different collections or products. With scripts, we can take those discounts to the next level. We can do things like very specific discounting offers for our VIP customers. We can create upsell and volume tiered pricing for different products as well. If I just go into a script, I have a volume tiered pricing script here. It does require some code, but in this case, I've set up some different price lists for not only different products, but for different customer groups as well. So we can do quite a lot and add quite a lot of logic into these scripts. And once again, our great blog team here at Shopify has provided a lot of content so you can get a head start on these. So you don't have to make these scripts from scratch. We can actually see something like free gift with purchase, what that looks like in the real world, and how one of our merchants are using those. And we can also see what that code looks like, and you can even just copy and paste that and get it started right away. The last tool that I want to jump into, definitely one of my favorites, and I think one of the most important for any large event on your site, or even just the day-to-day running of Shopify, is Shopify Flow. Shopify Flow is like your digital employee that can run a lot of tedious tasks for you during your event. It's our very own kind of if this then that type logic system that allows you to set up workflows to create automated tasks. I've got a few set up here right now. So a big thing that we can do with Shopify Flow is actually start to manage some of our inventory. And even start automating notifications and even some merchandising based on inventory changes. So with this flow, I'm using my inventory quantity trigger to start it up. So now anytime a product inventory changes on our site, this flow is going to be activated. So we can do things like, say, if the product has a total inventory that's less than 1, we're just going to hide that product. So reduce the friction of people landing on a product that might have been sold out because of your sale. What we can also do is set up some thresholds. In this case, I have my product total inventory is less than 10. And if that flow triggers that, Now we're going to see that I've added a tag into this product, and this might change the way it's merchandised. It might change what collections it's featured in. It might even bump it up to the front page. And what we can also do with this flow is add in an email. So I can be notified, or someone on my team can be notified to say, hey, this product is running low now. We might be running some Facebook ads or some Instagrams on it, or Instagram ads on it. But since it is running low, it's probably best to actually take that money that we're spending on those ads and move it somewhere else because we're already selling out. So with Flow, you can actually make sure that you're running your sales as efficiently as possible, getting notifications early on, and making sure that you're spending your money where you're supposed to be. And similar to Launchpad and scripts, we don't have to do these from scratch as well. Our blog team has put out some great templates for Flow that you can actually just directly import. So you can download these workflows from our blogs and actually try them out yourself. So with all of these tools, with Launchpad, scripts, and Flow, and our whole partner network as well, Shopify Plus can really help you increase that efficiency during sales like Black Friday and Cyber Monday, so you can really focus on selling your product.
Now, I'm not just saying this, and I did not give Alan any money to reference the blog, but fantastic use of existing resources on top of the behind-the-scenes tools to make it as simple as and easy as possible, which I love that's been one of the refrains throughout this. Now, we just have time for a rapid-fire Q&A session. So we've got a few questions coming at our presenters today. And first up, I want to put Megan in the hot seat with a question that may not revolve around the most exciting topic, but you mentioned almost just like a throwaway comment, the moving to a warehouse. And I'll be honest with you, when I talk and dip into case studies and interviews with especially large merchants and those that are growing at a fast pace, this is one of those like dirty secrets. When do you pull the trigger on a warehouse? That whole idea of fulfillment and order management and linking with inventory just opens up such a can. So I just wanted to follow up on that comment about a warehouse. How did you make that decision, and do you have any advice going into something like Black Friday, Cyber Monday?
So for us, we had been running our own warehouse since the business had kind of started. So it had been 6 years in our own space. And then I think because of what happened last year and how unprepared we were and kind of how we didn't really have all those support structures in place, and we still don't have kind of all the fulfillment side of things set in stone, and we'd kind of started looking at different possible companies to work with, but then Black Friday kind of always seems to creep up. So last year, obviously we had so many people from the office working there. We didn't ever want to kind of be disappointing customers, as that's kind of the most vital thing, is to try and make sure that you're shipping on time and delivering to them on time. So that's why this year we've put such a focus and so much more money into our warehousing to try and ensure that that doesn't happen again. We don't want to keep sort of disappointing people and for them to keep having negative experiences. So that's why this year we were kind of like, we went and had a few viewings and some different third-party warehousing, and that's why we kind of fell in love with the one that we've gone with now. Just, it was so organized, it was so put together, it was incredibly more prepared. And then the idea is that we've still got our own warehouse, we've still got some functionality there, just not from an e-commerce perspective. And the idea is that we're going to bring it back in-house in a couple of years, where we've kind of got the structure right and we're kind of properly even fulfilling retail and wholesale orders. So for us, it's mainly surrounding kind of not wanting to disappoint customers and not having the same issues that we had last year, and also not having to send down half of our office to the warehouse picking and packing. But yeah, I think that for us is the biggest thing, was so that we're not disappointing customers.
Love those behind the scene photos, just buried. That's great. Yeah. Now, for Alex, one of the questions that came in, you talked about mobile. A lot about mobile. In fact, that came up numerous times in different presentations. if you were to say, without naming names, but if you were to say one of the killer mistakes we see online storefronts making when it comes to mobile, and if you do nothing else to get ready for mobile, do this one thing, what would you say that is?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Something I meant to say, which does answer this question to do with optimizing for mobile, is about Shopify Pay, which is that if you enable Shopify Pay, then you're instantly able to offer Apple Pay, Google Pay, and have a faster checkout process, and including a one-click checkout. So anyone that's already on Shopify, which I would expect is most of the people that are on this webinar, that isn't using Shopify Pay on mobile should switch it on, because it's going to decrease the friction. And I think that's been a theme of a lot of what everybody's talked about, like you said, simplicity and reducing friction and making it effortless to buy. So Shopify Pay is a good way of achieving that. One other thing I wanted to add was that Alan reminded me about with showing flow, that you can use that to automate some of the stuff we talked about to do with segments and making sure that certain customers are VIPs and things like that. So yeah, use Shopify's features that are already built. They're already there, so turn them on and make the most of them.
Now we've got time for just 2 more questions. You're all being very kind. Over to Miles, question that came in. How do you strike a balance between visually robust search and speed on mobile?
Oh, okay, good question. Yeah, so I think first off, both are very crucial, especially towards the holidays. I mean, all year long, but in regards to this webinar during the holidays, on mobile, statistically, you actually will see more misspelling and no results than you will on any other device, right? So, even also on mobile, the look and feel can be quite challenging, especially when you're trying to find the search bar and the filtering of the results if you type in, let's say, a very generic search query, right? With that being said, I mean, first and foremost, the customer wants relevancy, right? If I type in something, take away a few milliseconds. If I can't find what I'm looking for, right, then I'm going to get frustrated. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to look somewhere to a different site, a competitor site, which means understanding the intent to pull out detailed and accurate results is more crucial in our eyes, in my eyes, because we can find you can find the relevancy first, and you can find the product that you're looking for. I think, I read a statistic where 85% of mobile shoppers are actually in store and they're searching online for price comparisons. So the last thing that, I want to see is irrelevant results, right? Because I'm price comparison, know if I'm going to pull the trigger on, purchasing the product in store or not, right? But then obviously tying that into speed is the best of both worlds. But I think relevancy is massive. In combination with speed, they're both right there neck and neck. But right now, the holidays, you definitely want to kind of balance out a little bit more relevancy, focus on the relevancy rather than just the speed.
Fantastic note on that in-store shopping element, which I keep hearing over and over again as well. And the idea of serve up the price based on what they've typed and anticipate fat thumbs. I'm reading between the lines, but I'm thinking that's what you meant. Last question.
Call me out. Yep.
Last question is for Nicole. Now, you talked a lot about personalization based upon the data. And so one of the things that came in was for the cross-selling and upselling at checkout, do you recommend a specific Black Friday, Cyber Monday strategy to align with the campaigns that are running? Or do you just say, listen, the machine knows best, just keep optimizing based on the data?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. So I would say that we typically do suggest letting the machines run on their own. However, you have to think about your brand. So, in the case of like a luxury watch company, maybe you don't want to distract from the cart because you already have something that's several $1,000s in the cart. So in that case, maybe you're going to want to consider having that lower priced or complimentary item in the recommendation. So it's definitely going to be dependent on which page you're running the recommendation on, and then what kind of brand you are and like what products you're trying to sell. And I think the strongest suggestion I can give is to A/B test that ahead of the holidays, because we have our best practices on our end, but you can't 100% say for sure until you actually test it.
Take it back to the data. There it is. Now, Alan, I would love to ask you a question. We are out of time, and since you did not provide a headshot, I'm just going to cut you off. I'll let you finish later. For anybody that's interested, this entire presentation will be sent out via email. So if you've frantically taken notes and want to go back to a specific slide, it is on its way. Don't hesitate to reach out to any of the presenters, including myself or Alan. And until next time, thank you very much to all our presenters and to you for joining us.